I just had a situation happen where that just reminded me to make this video. So yeah, so I had this guy come in, and out here at like the Calico, usually we have like 2 or 3 girls working, but I just so happened to start at a time when it's just I end up being alone. We do have a sister club next door, and a girl there is one other girl working over there at the moment too, and she is I'm not going to be, mean or rude or whatever and just like publicly assume her age, but she's significantly older than I am, okay? And this is important to the story. So I have this older guy, he comes in, and we do a tour, and he, after I tell him my prices, he's like, to be completely honest, you're not my cup of tea. And since he was, old, I was like, are you looking for somebody that might be older than me? And he's like, yeah. He's like, you're like my like my granddaughter's age. So I'm like, well, next door we have another lady. She is, significantly older than I am, and she's probably a better match. You should go check her out. So he leaves, goes next door, and then the girl next door calls me back. She's like, you'll never believe, because I had texted her and I told her the situation before when he was walking over. Well, she's like, you'll never believe. He comes over and he said that she was too young for him too. He wanted somebody that was old, okay? Like old, like probably, I'm assuming to be like maybe like 65 plus is what he was looking for. Which, I mean, you can't really shame him for that, because he was definitely up there in age, and not every old guy wants to be with somebody that is his granddaughter's age or his daughter's age, or something like that. So yeah, that's what reminded me to make this video. And the topic that I'm going to be discussing today is, like, when is it time to retire from sex work? How old is too old? So the story that I just told you, that's like living proof right there that there is no like exact age that we become undesirable as sex workers, because this guy was clearly looking for a woman who was like really old, like 65 plus, okay? So yeah, there is no concrete age that we have to retire. Do most sex workers retire by the time that they are 40 and move on to something else? Absolutely, okay? But you know what? I've been around. I've been doing this for like over a decade, right? And I've known a couple of girls that were up there in age, and all of these older women that I've met in my career of sex work that were like 50 plus have made bank. To be like a sex worker that is like 50 plus, there's not many of them, and that is an in-demand niche that, is clearly underfilled. So yeah, everybody that is looking for the older companions, they have a limited selection, which makes your odds of making money probably pretty good. For example, I actually worked at a strip club, and there was a girl there. She was like in her like 70s. I think she was like 72 or 73 at the time. And she had been working at the same bar as it switched owners for like over 30 years. So she had clients that she had retained longer than I have been alive. And also, she would be getting young guys too, because some young guys just have guilt fetishes. And this old lady, she would be consistently back to back booked every single day that she showed up for work. She wasn't even like, like the type of like 73-year-old that would be like Botoxed to shit and back and, all kind of plastic surgery and this and that. No, she was a pretty standard 73-year-old woman, nothing really outstanding about her. I mean, the only thing that really set her apart was the fact that she was filling a very hard to find niche of provider. And good for her, because you know what? She was, I'm telling you, back to back to back to back, dances. And you know what? If you are still able to, be the type of person that can withstand just the general stress and bullshit that comes with sex work, into your golden years, good for you though, because like I feel like me personally, I think that probably I don't see myself becoming very old. Not that like I'm like suicidal or anything. It's just that like I can't picture myself as like a 70 something year old lady. I'm probably gonna have like a stress related heart attack before that time. But yeah, I don't know. Another factor that I would kind of like to bring up in this discussion about, how old is too old to be a sex worker is just our general perception of what age looks like and what being old even means for real. Because, like, okay, and I'm a little bit embarrassed of this now at this point. But, like, so I started dancing when I was 18 years old. And I saw like the girls that were at my job that were like in their 30s, and I just thought that they were like the oldest people ever, and I'm like, what huge losers. I'm like, somebody kill me if I am still dancing at 30 years old, because I'm like, that is like grandmother age, and here I am, and I realize now that 30 is not even that old, and I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about at all. Because you know what? Here, I'm actually going to bring receipts. Here is a picture of me at the age of 19. And you know what? I'm brunette right now, so you can't really get the full effect of like the picture without me just giving you a blonde picture. But here is me as a blonde, probably like maybe 6 months ago. I was 19 in the first picture and 32 in the next. So really, was 30 like so super old? Probably not. So yeah, there is technically no specific age that you have to retire. But I'm going to have to say that you should quit sex work whenever you feel like it, whenever you feel comfortable enough to leave sex work. That's the age you retire, I guess. But why the fuck would anybody retire if they are filling an in-demand niche and they're still getting a whole bunch of interested clients, looking for them? There's no reason that they would retire. So yeah, there is no age that is too old to be a sex worker, technically. It's all based on whether or not you still want to be a sex worker. Duh.